Finally! The Skyline is back. The Fast and Furious content has been re-released, but with some changes since the first time around. So in this video, I'll give my thoughts on the cars and the items that they come with. So those who have played Rocket League for a while will probably remember when the first edition of the Fast and Furious DLC was available. That was prior to the game going free to play, I think back in like 2017 or something. Back then, we got Brian's Skyline from Too Fast and Furious and Dom's Dodge Charger from the original movie. But now, we get some additional items as well. We've got some black painted versions of the wheels for each car, which is a very welcome treat as I am a big fan of the Skyline wheels in particular. There's also some decals for the cars which did not exist previously, which allows you to get the cars in the original design from the movies. I thought this was a really nice welcome touch as well. You can also stick any wheels, boosts, toppers or etc. on any of the cars that you like, as well as any universal decals, which isn't always the case for licensed items, as we saw with such things as the Batmobile and the DeLorean etc. But most importantly, there is a new car. The Pontiac Fiero from the new Fast and Furious 9 movie, which based on the look of it is going to be absolutely ridiculous, but what else would you expect from a Fast and Furious movie? But how does this car feel? I must say, it's pretty good. It comes with a hybrid hitbox, which is a hitbox that I personally get on quite well with, and I'm kind of already familiar with the other two cars already, or at least I thought I was, but we'll get into that later. But I decided to give this one a good few games to get a test of it, and it feels generally like a good hybrid hitbox car, similar to that of the Nissan Skyline. It seems to fit the hitbox really well. There's obviously the massive eye-catching jet engine on the back of it, which I'm still not entirely sure of, but in a way I think it kind of makes it more in tune with Rocket League's general aesthetic, so it fits really well within the game. I found myself getting really good solid contact on the ball with this car, and the angled front of the Pontiac makes it a really good reference point to hit the ball with power on, so I find that really helpful. Similarly to how the Dominus has its very obvious corners that allow you to get that little bit more power from them. One thing I did have to bear in mind when playing with these cars is that I'm in a bit of a slump right now and haven't really been able to enjoy my gameplay as much as I would usually, so having something refreshing like this has really helped me to enjoy the game a little bit more and just help me play a little bit better, which is nice. But most importantly, would I say that this car is worth your money? Well, that depends. If you like a good hybrid car and you want something with some really nice black wheels, then go for it. Also, if you're a big fan of the films and you just want to rep this, then probably another reason to buy it. Another reason if you're a massive Pontiac fan, although with the big jet engine on the back that might offend some Pontiac fans, but I personally am not the biggest Pontiac fan, but this definitely could be a shout for you as well. Personally, even with the nice black wheels that you get in this, they're really nice, so might even be worth picking up just for that. Now moving on to the R34 Nissan Skyline GT-R. This is one of my all-time favourite cars, not just in game but in real life as well. But in game, I've probably mained this car for at least a good 1,000 hours of my overall gameplay, which is probably getting close to 4,000 hours at this point. I typically bounce between this one and the Octane, and this is always my go-to slump car. If I ever find myself performing badly, the Skyline always helps me to either just play better or just simply enjoy the game that little bit more, until I end up slumping with the Skyline, then go back to the Octane. And as I said earlier as well, we get some lovely black versions of the Skyline wheels too, which is very welcoming because, like I said, big fan of the Skyline wheels over here. We also get the classic Too Fast, Too Furious decal design in the original colours, which is a really nice touch as well. This car fits the hitbox really nicely, with just a little bit of clipping at the front where the front bumper will occasionally just go into the ball a little bit. Generally though, doesn't really affect the way I play with it, so I wouldn't expect it to affect the way that you play with it either. I really don't know what it is that I love so much about playing with this car, but it just feels great to me. Of course, being a long hybrid hitbox and the placement of the pivot point on the hybrid hitbox, that's the point where your car rotates around, Your car can occasionally clip into the ground if you don't jump high enough before your initial dodge. This would be the same case for any other hybrid hitbox you use, so that would go for the same with the Pontiac as well. But it's not something that causes me a problem because I've kind of learned to adapt to that as a sort of Skyline user, and I think it doesn't take long to get used to it either, and it's quite simple to actually get the hang of it. So would I say that the Skyline is worth your money? To me, this car is a definite recommendation. Obviously, only if you can afford it. There are plenty of other options out there, and as I said in my car hitboxes video, all the cars of the same hitbox preset behave identically, so you should never feel like you have to fork out money on anything in-game, as it provides no competitive advantage in-game. I love this car though, and the wheels as well make it a worthwhile purchase for those who have the funds available. And now we come on to my dreaded nemesis, the one with the Dominus hitbox, the Dodge Charger. Now before we get into this too much, I feel like I have to say, and I could be absolutely wrong on this, and it could just be my brain playing tricks on me, but I have the strangest feeling that when they released this one, they've changed something in the visual model since its initial release. Back when this car came out in 2017, I think it was, it felt really small in comparison to the hitbox and didn't seem like it filled out the wide areas, whereas loading it up in today and loading it into a game, it seemed like it did fill out that little bit more. But it's been a long time since I used the car, and that very well could just all be in my head. Now, full disclaimer, I am terrible with the Dominus hitbox, so any car review from me with the Dominus hitbox is likely to have an element of negative bias. However, even just in comparison to every other Dominus hitbox car I've played with, I still just can't get to grips with this one, even in comparison to those. And that's a massive shame because I really would love to love it. The Dodge Charger is an absolutely iconic piece of American muscle car history, and I absolutely adore it. But sadly, I just cannot play with this car at all. The hits just don't seem to register as I want them to. I miss the ball more when I play this car, and that's more than I would even expect to play when I'm playing the Dominus hitbox, and everything just feels wrong to me. Design-wise though, it's very pretty, and the black Charger wheels are a lovely design piece. The other thing, of course, that it does have in its favour is the new decal, which is basically just black paint, but it's got the black Charger design of the first movie, and it does look gorgeous. But sadly, that's really all the praise I can have for it. I played a few games with it today, and I think I lost every single one of them, whereas I won nearly every single one with the Pontiac. So would I recommend this one? Well, I think you can kind of tell where this is going, and sadly, the only people I can recommend this one to are really big fans of Dodge Chargers and people who have a lot of disposable income where they really don't care about the money they spend on it. But hey, 2 out of 3 ain't bad, right? But that would just about do it for this one. I hope this was kind of helpful or useful, or even if you just enjoyed it just for a watch while you're doing the dishes or something. If you did enjoy it, please do give it a little thumbs up. I really appreciate it when that happens. And thanks very much for watching. And until next time, bye.